What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 189, everybody. I am your host, Sleazeball. Today's episode is going to be my Week 17 Fantasy Football Championship. Top 10 defenses, top 10 kickers, plus one streamer each. Monster week here. The ultimate goal is here. It was the whole point of the content creation this season. All the support you guys have shown me has been absolutely amazing. Is to get you guys to this point we are at now. I love seeing the comments in there from you guys saying that you helped me hear all this. It means the world to me. Keeps me grinding to be better for you guys. And before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that like, hit that subscription, turn that bell on. I will have a Christmas special tomorrow morning, an hour before kickoff as well. On Christmas Day, I know our family stuff starts around noon, so I got about an hour or 2 hours in between there. I can, pop in some Christmas questions or whatever you guys need for the games that are on Wednesday, which is crazy. So let's dive into my Week 17 top 10 defense and kickers plus one streamer each. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my kicker and defense board here. So I don't use the baller tier. I use tier 1, tier 2 for the top 10 kickers. Tier 3 in the yellow is where you'll see my one streamer each. Then tier 4 and tier 5 are my top 10 defenses as well. And you'll see Evan McPherson still in the bottom right there on IR. And guys, last week I hit all 5 top defenses in the top 5. I didn't hit them in the right order. Obviously, they were off by 1 or 2, but absolutely amazing week there. And I hit 3 of the top 5 kickers. Plug into these rankings. Your boy is going to bring the heat for the championship here. Now, number one, we're going to start with the kickers here. Number one kicker on the week for me is going to be Chase McLaughlin. And I know Chase McLaughlin had a tough game versus the Dallas Cowboys. Only got 7.5 points last week. But they fell behind in a bad game script here. You're going to get the Carolina Panthers this week. The Carolina Panthers give up the most points in the NFL on the season to the kicker, ranking 32nd at 10.4. That's why I absolutely love Chase McLaughlin this week. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to get back into playoff contention and win this game. Kicker number 2 is going to be Jake Bates, the absolute monster of fantasy football. And it's like Lions just score at will. So I know it kind of hurts that, he's going to score a touchdown, or the Lions score a lot of touchdowns as well. But look at last week versus the Bears, man. He was absolutely lighting it up. Could have had a 20-point kicker game, honestly. And now they're heading into week 17 here. The Detroit Lions are going to be facing off against the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. You're going to get the last laugh. The 49ers season is done. And when you look at the stats for the 49ers versus the kicker, they give up 8.3 right there on average. So you have to love Jake Bates this week. Kicker number 3, who is absolutely in fuego, and this is playing along with Jake Bates right here. He just crushed the 49ers for 20-plus points last week. So how do you not like Jason Sanders versus the Cleveland Browns with Dorian Thompson-Robinson at quarterback? I don't even care what. So the Cleveland Browns go up 7.6. That's top 10 versus the kicker. But I don't look at that as mattering when he plays quarterback. This is absolutely atrocious. Kicker number 4 is going to be Tyler Bass of the Buffalo Bills and the struggle they had last week versus the Patriots. I did not see coming. I think it's one of those, Tom Brady hangovers. Every time they play the Patriots, it gets rough. So the Bills this week are going to get the New York Jets. The New York Jets ranked 29th versus the kicker, giving up 9.9. Smash Tyler Bass into your lineups this week, guys. Kicker number 5 is going to be Chris Boswell. And I told you guys gave me a bunch of comments last week that Chris Boswell dropped 24 points last time he played the Ravens. He's going to do it again. I was like, that's a bad game script, man. I don't think that's going to happen again. Did not happen there at all. And this is going to be one of your Wednesday Christmas games here versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs red zone D is very good. They're going to get George Pickens back. Could help this offense. I'm going to say Chris Boswell has a better week this week than last week because I did not like him last week at all. Or not at all. I just wasn't as high on him. Number 6, Will the Thrill Richard for the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be a monster game here. We're going to talk about them both here. Well, I don't have Brandon McManus up here. Never mind. That's for defensive side. Sorry. Will the Thrill gets the Packers this week. You saw the Green Bay Packers just run over the atrocious Saints. I literally called 34-10, and I said there'd be no touchdown even on my stream, but I gave him 10 either way. Almost nailed that score exactly. Now, when you get the Green Bay Packers here in this game, the over-under in a monster positional playoff game here. This is what I look for with kickers. It's high over-unders, grunge match, division matchup, stuff like that. So you got a 48.5 over-under here. have to love Will the Thrill in this game. I actually am lower on Brandon McManus this week than I am Will the Thrill by a lot. Kicker number 7, Kaimi Fairbairn, coming off an ugly game, only 6 points last week. Texans, not the matchup they wanted. They get the Ravens this week, 46.5 over under at home in the dome. No weather to worry about. You still have to like Kai. You have to like the Texans to try and fight back here. I mean, the Colts are creeping up, man. So 9-6. The Colts could be 8-8. They get to play the Giants here. They might slide out here if they lose this game. It could be really ugly for the Texans, man. I know they got Deontay Johnson, so that might help out there. Kicker number 8 finally found a bounce back, and the Chiefs found a little rhythm, man. And you get the Steelers, whose red zone defense is phenomenal. So you get Hollywood Brown back, and all of a sudden Patrick Mahomes and his offense looks electric. So this is going to be Harrison Butker's going to be my top 10 the rest of the way. Number 9, just breaking NFL records like he always does, Brandon Aubrey. But I do not like him in this matchup. I like the Eagles D to pounce on the Cowboys. They ran him over last time. You're in Philly in the cold here. You're not playing against Tampa. I mean, obviously, Brandon Aubrey is the best weapon to have in fantasy football as a kicker. I just do not like this matchup versus the Eagles. They are number 1 versus the kicker as well in the season. Number 10, we're going to stick with that same game. Jake Elliott, the Dallas Cowboys give up 8.5. That ranks 20th. I think the Eagles are going to roll them in this game, and this is going to be a big game coming off that big loss to the Commanders for them to bounce back and get back in that top seed spot. Well, I think they still have it because the Lions-Vikings are in the same division. But I like Jake Elliott to kick a lot in this game and to bounce back. My streamer kicker of the week is going to be Matt Gay. And why is that? Because you're going up against the New York Giants. This offense is terrible. I told you guys to target them last week with the Falcons. It was absolute money. You target them this week again. We're going to get to my defenses here. Actually, we'll just talk about them both. Colts are my number 1 defense. You always target the New York Giants. Drew Lock looks like an absolute nightmare out there. And Matt Gay is going to have a ton of attempts because they're going to be ahead in this game and they're fighting for their playoff life. Number 2 is going to be the Miami Dolphins. Also fighting for their playoff life here. They need a couple things to happen. They need the Bengals to beat the Broncos and the Broncos to lose. There's a couple different scenarios how that could work out. But why am I putting them number 2? Both these defenses are not great at 1 and 2, but these matchups are too good to ignore. Drew Lock got hammered by the Falcons for 2 pick sixes. You get Dorian Thompson, who the Bengals defense is terrible, and they locked him up. They had a great defensive week. You have to love both these defenses, your top 2 plays this week. Number 3 is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. Like I said, this is what the best defense all around in football. Front 7, linebackers, secondary, corners. They are lights out across the board. You're going to get Cooper Rush. You're going to be in Philly at home in the cold. It's going to be a different look for Cooper Rush here. And last time the Eagles played the Cowboys versus Dak, they even crushed him. So I do not like much from the Cowboys this week besides, CeeDee Lamb, obviously. Number 4 is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers, who take on the New England Patriots. So what you saw with the Patriots last week, they gave up a defensive touchdown to the Bills. Patriots will be at home. I know the Chargers traveling west to east could be a trouble there, but still, I like this Charger front a lot to get after Drake May and cause a lot of havoc, a lot of turnovers, a lot of sacks. Number 5 is going to be the Buffalo Bills, who we just talked about, got their defensive touchdown last week versus Drake May. I don't know what that fumble was in the air, reverse pass in the end zone. That was crazy. And you're going to get Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. And the Jets offense is putrid, man. They were at home versus the Rams and didn't do anything. And this Bills defense, they're fighting back for a top seed as well in these next 2 games. I expect him to get after the old man who can't get out of the pocket. He barely moves in there. It's going to be really rough for Aaron Rodgers versus Buffalo this week. Number 6, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Wednesday Christmas game here. And when you're looking at this game, the Steelers offense hasn't done much. They are going to get George Pickens back. That could help. I still like the Kansas City Chiefs to get after Russell Wilson. He's kind of like an Aaron Rodgers to me. He's got a little movement, but he's still not the old Russ. Doesn't have the legs like that to get after it. And now, this one's tough here. So 7 and 8, I'm going to do together. This is the divisional game here. Packers, Vikings, right? Packers defense coming out 20 points. Just played Spencer Rattler. That was one of the easiest calls of the week, was to start the Packers defense. Everyone should have picked him up ahead. If you didn't, these are fantasy football moves you need to make. That's why you subscribe to my channel, to know these things ahead of time. I picked up the Green Bay Packers defense everywhere I could the week before. Now, these defenses are so good. This matchup could be a shootout game, yes. And I don't really like the top 10 ranking here that I'm giving them, but they're just so damn good I can't rank them outside. So I'm not really enamored with the play of the Vikings or the Packers this week because they play each other, and this could be a 30-30 game, or it could be a low-scoring division grunge game. Tough to tell, right, in this game. So they're just such good defenses. I'm ranking them here, but again, I'm not super high on starting them this week. Number 9 is going to be the Seattle Seahawks, and they're going to get the Chicago Bears. My call of the week last week was Keenan Allen, Caleb Williams, and DJ Moore. Drop that in the comments if you started Caleb Williams or listened to that research call, because I went into a lot of data research for you guys on that call, and that was one of my boldest calls of the year to make in a fantasy football semifinal, was to throw Caleb Williams out there as a rookie, and he absolutely showed out with 20 plus fantasy points. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one because that was one of the best calls I made of the year, and I want to know if it got you into the finals, man. And they're going to get Caleb Williams. This is a different matchup here. I do not like the Caleb Williams here. Seahawks at the Bears. It's different. This secondary is a lot different. They're not decimated like the Detroit Lions. They're nasty corners. Very good secondary. Going to be a different game here. Number 10 is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And man, I told you they had that good schedule. They still have the good schedule. They get the Carolina Panthers here. Bryce Young has looked better. Dave Canales, the QB whisperer head coach, to save Baker Mayfield's career, is going to turn around Bryce Young's, it looks like. So I still like Tampa as a play, just a little tougher now because Carolina's looking good. I mean, Jesus. I mean, you saw Bryce Young look better than Kyler Murray last week. And moving on to the streamer defense of the week. I got to grab him here. I messed up my chart here. I think I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders. So why do I like the Las Vegas Raiders as a streamer play? Their defense is not good in any single way, shape, or form. But who do they get? They get the Saints and Spencer Rattler. They didn't even score a touchdown last week or on Monday Night Football last night. You have to like this play. It's not amazing. It is a streamer throwout if you need it, if you can't get a top defense. I really like the Raiders defense this week. Thanks for rocking with me on this Christmas Eve. Happy holidays to you and your guys' family. That is the end of the episode. That is my top 10 kickers, top 10 defenses, and one streamer each for the Fantasy Football Championship, guys. And before we head out, make sure you smash that like. Make sure you smash that subscription. Again, it helps me out a ton. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support this season. And then turn that bell on. I will be live tomorrow for a Christmas special an hour before the game. And then I will also be live all weekend long covering everything here for the finals. This is the monster week. This is the trophy week. This is what we grinded for all season long, guys. And I'm going to try and get my quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end rankings out today. I will not have a waiver wire video this week because we're in the championship. I will give you some waiver wire players in the comments on this video if you want. And if you have any questions about who to pick up on the waiver wire, if you need because of injury, I can help you out there as well. But I don't think the waiver wire video is needed this week. And that's it for me, guys. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Sleazeball out.